J.K. Rowling, author of Harry Potter, went from broke and depressed to the world's most beloved author. In today's video, we will be telling you the true story of how J.K. Rowling went from broke and depressed to the world's most beloved author. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on future videos. Joanne Rowling was born on July 31, 1965, in Yate, Gloucestershire, UK. She grew up in a middle-class family with two brothers. Her childhood was relatively happy, although her parents divorced when she was young, and she had to move from her beloved family home. Joanne always loved reading and writing stories. In fact, she wrote her first story at age 4 and was passionate about literature throughout school. After graduating from the University of Exeter with a degree in French and German, Rowling worked as a teacher and then as a researcher for Amnesty International. But she soon realized that these jobs did not fulfill her, and she wanted to do something more creative. In 1990, she married Jorge Arantes, a journalist from Portugal where she taught English. However, the marriage was turbulent, and they divorced a year later. Around this time, Rowling began writing what would become her first Harry Potter book. But she was still far from achieving success. In fact, she was struggling financially and personally. She was raising her baby daughter on her own, working odd jobs and relying on public assistance. To make ends meet, she lived in a one-room flat above a noisy pub and often went hungry. Despite all the hardships, Rowling continued to write and refine her story about a young wizard named Harry Potter. She worked on it for 5 years before finally completing it in 1995. But getting published was not easy. The manuscript was rejected by multiple agencies and publishers who thought it was too long and complex. Finally, in 1997, Bloomsbury Publishing agreed to publish the book. However, they didn't have high expectations and printed only 500 copies. The book, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, was released on June 26, 1997. Initially, it received mixed reviews from critics, who found the story predictable and the characters uninteresting. However, readers, especially children and teenagers, embraced it and it became a bestseller. By the end of the year, over 1 million copies were sold in the UK alone. As the first book gained popularity, Rowling began writing the second installment, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. But before she could finish it, she had to go on a promotional tour for the first book. She traveled all over the UK, US, and other countries, meeting fans, signing autographs, and giving interviews. It was during this time that she learned about the phenomenal success of the first book. The second book was released in 1998 and was even more popular than the first. It broke sales records and topped bestseller lists worldwide. By the time the third book, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, was released in 1999, Rowling was a household name. She was no longer the struggling single mother living in a rundown flat. She had a comfortable house, a loving partner, and enough money to support her and her daughter for life. The fourth, fifth, and sixth books were released in 2000, 2003, and 2005, respectively. Each breaking new records and setting new standards for fantasy fiction. In 2001, Rowling's fame reached new heights when the first Harry Potter film adaptation, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, was released. The movie was a huge hit, grossing over $1 billion worldwide and launching a new era of blockbuster fantasy films. The remaining 6 books were adapted into movies, with the final installment, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, being released in 2011. Throughout her career, Rowling has received numerous awards and honors, including 7 British Book Awards, 4 American Book Awards, an OBE from Queen Elizabeth II, and induction into the National Women's Hall of Fame. But perhaps her greatest legacy is the impact she has had on literacy and reading. According to Scholastic, nearly 500 million copies of her books are in print worldwide in over 80 languages. And since the release of the first book, more than 10 million people have been added to library waiting lists across the country. Rowling's success story is truly inspiring. She went from being a poor single mother, living in a rundown flat, to becoming one of the world's most successful authors. Her hard work, determination, and passion for writing paid off, and she created a world that captivated millions of readers. Today, she continues to write and produce works that entertain and enlighten people of all ages. So, what are your thoughts about J.K. Rowling's story? Let us know in the comments below. This video, created by the Yin Ong Baby Care, Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on future videos. Thanks for watching.